What's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we're gonna have a look at the newly released BetaFPV Matrix V2. This is a all-in-one 1S flight controller that was released alongside the newest iteration of 65 and 75mm whoops. There are two different versions you can get, a solder-free or a solder-required version that I got right here to save as much weight as possible. As usual, it comes well protected in a small little plastic box, and when you open it up, you'll be immediately greeted by the AIO itself. The first thing you will notice, one edge appears to be cut off. They switched to a 3-point mounting system for this second generation, and there is a good reason behind that we will discover later in this video. Here we have all of the accessories it comes with, starting with the USB adapter and the QR code for the user manual, which is a nice touch. Other than that, we got the power leads and the 5.8 GHz antenna, which I think is a bit too long for a small whoop, that's why I'm not going to use it. And lastly, we got some screws, the rubber grommets and the plugs for the motor wires. Now, before we dig any deeper, we have to understand how these AIOs were named and which whoops they were shipped with, since it's really not intuitive at all. We have the Matrix 5-in-1 V2 from this video, and then we have the Matrix 5-in-1, which technically isn't even the predecessor to the V2. Nope, that one is actually called the Air 5-in-1. So where do we find which AIO? The Matrix V2 comes with the new series of Air 65 and 75-2 whoops. We can find the Matrix V1 in the Meteor 65 and 75 Pro models, and the Air 5-in-1 was used in the first gen Air 65 and 75 whoops. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can have a look at this chart. All of these boards share the same MCU as well as the OSD chip. They run ELRS and have a 400mW VTX installed. With this new Matrix V2 we get a more powerful 12 AmpSC. This is due to the higher kV motors used in the new BetaFPV Air lineup of whoops. These can draw much more current, so a 5 AmpSC wasn't just cutting it anymore. They also switched to gold plating the motor connectors. This essentially eliminates oxidation caused by intense vibrations, which whoops are known to suffer from. It should ensure a low resistance connection that won't degrade over time like standard tin plugs. Now down here is where things get even more interesting. Both versions of the Matrix board have a thickness of 1mm. The Air 5-in-1, however, is slightly thinner at 0.8mm, which in the world of ultra-lightweight whoop builds is actually a significant jump from 1mm. This means this new board is now heavier than its predecessor. However, there is more to a whoop build than just the weight of the AIO. There are a lot of other components like the frame or the motors, where through clever engineering some weight can be saved. BetaFPV clearly listened to their customer feedback when designing this new AIO. Many of the previous Air 5-in-1s suffered from PCB bending during crashes, which often resulted in cracked traces or faulty ELRS and OSD ICs. Looking at them side by side, you can really see how much empty space was wasted on the older board design. With this in mind, BetaFPV removed the front corner of the PCB, the area that usually absorbs the most impact energy and causes the board to flex. Despite this smaller footprint, they use a more efficient layout to squeeze in larger MOSFETs for the 12 AmpSC and include some nice chunky solder pads for those who prefer to direct solder their motor wires. Moving on to installing the all-in-one, I start by soldering the power leads by simply threading the wires through the holes as shown here. Make sure to pay close attention to the polarity so you don't swap the positive and the negative. I then just put a blob of solder on top. If you struggle with dull or messy solder joints, try and use some flux. It makes soldering a whole lot easier, especially with tiny solder pads like these ones. When soldering the motors, I first tried to install them feeding the wires through the holes and soldering them from the top. My idea was that having the wires perpendicular to the all-in-one would put less strain on the solder joints, preventing them from snapping off in a crash. The mistake I made though was to only solder the wires to the small copper pad on top, not creating a proper connection, which led to a horrible wobble, making the whoop unflyable. If I would have exposed a bit more wire and soldered it from both the top and the bottom, this would have probably been fine, but I just decided to solder them on the normal way instead. This means pre-tinning the pads and soldering the motors parallel to the board. Notice how I angle the wires slightly upwards to eliminate any contact with the frame that could transfer even more vibrations to the flight controller. If you're wondering why my motor wires have these colored wires, it's because the originals got a bit too short. I replaced them with these 28 gauge wires, which have slightly thicker insulation. They do add about 0.1 or 0.2 grams of weight, but for this specific build I don't mind the trade-off for the unique look. Now that this is all back together, we can head over to the BetaFPV website and download the firmware and CLI config for the AIR 75-2 Racing Edition, since my build is running the racing-powered 25,000 kV motors. The AIR 75-2 Racing tune seems to work quite well on my build. From here it's just a matter of flashing the firmware and pasting the CLI we downloaded into the terminal. Once that's done, there are a few extra Betaflight tweaks I used to get the quad feeling exactly how I like it. Oh, and don't forget to flash your ELRS. I've flown around 40 packs with the new Matrix so far, mostly indoors since the weather lately has been quite bad. It took me a little while to get everything dialed in, but now this whoop is feeling great in the air. The big question is this all-in-one going to be much more durable than its predecessor? Personally, I think BetaFPV took all the right measures to give this flight controller the best chance at being much more resilient and long-lasting than the previous version. I've had no issues with the radio connection or video feed so far, but I'm excited to get this whoop outside where I can do some proper distance testing. All in all, I'm very happy with this all-in-one and I hope it's going to last me a long time through many crashes. That said, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more FPV content. Happy flying!